Hey, listen, man, until your favorite artists make songs that are better, we're going to be playing shit from back in the day. I seen some girl talking about she don't want to hear songs that are 5 years old. I don't give a damn, okay? Y'all's new music only translates well in groups, in cars, in the gym. You play that shit in the club, nobody reacts to it. And on top of that, because of this TikTok era, y'all make songs that are 2.5 minutes long, and they barely even slap past the hook, which means that if a hook is 30 seconds and I have to play 2 songs just to complete 1 minute worth of material, I'm gonna have to run through 600 songs to complete a 5-hour set. That is insanity. Y'all need to make better music. It is not our fault that we have to revert back to the same era that current artists are sampling today. Like, be for real. Y'all are ruining club culture with all this fucking complaining. And all we do is play the music and make it interesting. It is not our fault. It is the record labels that control the quality of the music. Blame them, not us.
So ladies and gentlemen, as you see in that video clip that I played a second ago from this DJ, he feels as though a lot of the songs out now are not good and the artists are not good. He feels as though DJs have no choice but to play those older songs because the new artists, they're making short songs that don't sound good beyond the chorus, and they're only focused on trying to sound like they only want that one viral TikTok sound to be used, which is only like a 5-second snippet of the song, more or less, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds or whatever. And many people are agreeing with him. I disagree with his point. I understand his point though, obviously, because to his credit, yes, there are some artists who don't put any effort forward, and I guess the best example is like the Little Pumps of the world, right? If you guys remember Little Pump, like an artist who, those artists who put very minimal effort into their music, and the label just dumps boatloads of money. Major labels dump boatloads of money into trying to get these artists to become superstars, and their songs go viral all over the place. That's very true, of course. And he also says that he believes it's the fault of the artist and the label. The artist for making bad music, and the label for putting so much money into the low-hanging fruit. And I understand where he's coming from. I believe he's partially right, but there's a major truth that he is omitting in this whole situation, in this whole conversation. Mind you, he's responding to apparently there was a female who put up a post saying that she wanted DJs to retire from playing. She wanted them to retire the hit songs from the 2000s and the 2010s and play something more recent. And this is why in that clip that I played you at the beginning of the video, he was snapping and saying what he said, right? He said that it's the fault of the artist and the label, but he left out one major component that a lot of people left out, that a lot of people leave out, that I've spent most of 2025 talking about. And it's the fans themselves. A lot of people don't want to bring the fans into this equation when they're dishing out blame and saying, oh, it's because of this and that. But at the end of the day, the people are the one who ultimately can choose what becomes successful, regardless of how much money a label pumps into an artist. Now, these labels, of course, they know that most people are followers, so they know if they just dump a certain amount of money into an artist, there's a high likelihood that most fans will just gravitate to that artist because they'll have the fear of missing out. They want to just like whatever's popular. But regardless of that, fans have a right to reject whatever they don't want. But many fans want the very thing that he's complaining about when it comes to artists making short songs and only focusing on songs that have one good clip in the song that's meant to go viral on TikTok and be a viral TikTok sound. That's the artists themselves. You can't say the artists aren't making good music, because even artists who make good music, when their songs go viral on TikTok, the fans still don't care about the song. They just want to hear the one viral TikTok clip. If you don't believe me, let's go look at Steve Lacy. I'm sure many of you know who Steve Lacy is. He's the very talented R&B singer I don't have to tell you his biography, obviously, but he's a very talented R&B singer. One of, if not his biggest song came out about a year or two ago. It was called Bad Habits. It was a monster hit. I know you all have heard it. I love that song. It's a great song. I really like that song. It's enjoyable. It's top to bottom from the beginning to the end. It's a great vibe. When people talk about vibes and, positive vibes, that song puts you in a very great mood, right? That being said, though, there was a very fascinating thing that happened about a year or two ago when that song was at its peak and had already gone supremely viral. Steve Lacy did a concert performance, and the people in the crowd didn't react. They weren't really. They were looking very uninterested and not engaging in the experience, in the performance. They didn't really care much until it got to the one part of that song that was viral and used in a bunch of TikTok clips.
Steve Lacy got mad at his fans for only knowing his TikTok songs.
I wish I knew you wanted me. I wish I knew.
The way nobody sang the next verse embarrassing as.
And are you gonna say that it's Steve Lacy's fault that these fans don't want to hear the rest of the song? Are you gonna say Steve Lacy's music isn't good enough? Now, Steve Lacy doesn't have to be your cup of tea. I can't predict what you watching right now. I can't predict what type of music you like, but I don't care what anybody says. Even if Steve Lacy's not your cup of tea, he's a very talented artist. Are you gonna say that his music isn't good enough? Because even with him making a very good song overall, the fans didn't care. They didn't want to hear the whole thing. They didn't bother memorizing the whole thing. They didn't bother listening to more than the one part that went viral on TikTok. They didn't care. So if that's happening to someone as talented as Steve Lacy, you don't think other artists are watching that and taking mental notes of that? What message do you think the fans are sending to artists when they do that? They're sending the message that they don't care about the rest of the song. They just want that one part that they could sing along to from TikTok. That they just want that one part that they could use as a sound for their TikTok videos, for their skits and all the things of that nature. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a lot of artists who are going to prioritize that. That's just naturally what's going to happen. And that's more so on the fans than the artists and even the labels. I'm not a fan of major labels, obviously, but at the end of the day, if fans wanted more, they could go out there and get it. Another thing that he talked about that I didn't like was when he said he went on and on about how artists are only focusing on TikTok, right? Speaking of TikTok, he said they only care about TikTok. That's the only thing they're focusing on. And what I didn't like about this, of course, is the fact that it's literally just a recycled version of the same old debate that happens every generation. And I'm very annoyed that people pretend like this is a new phenomenon. See, for whatever reason, most people never have the common sense to just appreciate the music that's out right now. They never have the common sense to just focus on searching for dope music that's currently out. They want to obsess over the past. They want to obsess over the past. You see this again. You saw this in the 2000s. See, I literally lived through the 2000s, guys. Like, I was born in the late 90s. I grew up in the 2000s and the 2010s. I witnessed in real time all the people in that era were literally shitting on all the music that came out in that era and acting as if it was the worst music ever, acting as if these artists weren't making real music, and acting as if the music from 10 to 20 years before that was so much better. And now they're literally repeating the same cycles. You don't believe me? Well, I can prove that with one sound, ladies and gentlemen. One sound. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Yes, that one sound you just heard was a chirp from a Boost mobile phone. Now, Some of you may be asking, why in the world are you making that? Why are you playing that sound? I'm playing that sound because I want to teleport some of you, in case you're too old or too young to remember. I want to teleport you to the 2000s and I guess you could say the early 2010s as well, right? To that era, right? The previous era. In that era, they said the same thing about ringtone rap. They literally was saying, just like how now people are saying, oh, these artists don't care, their songs are only made to have that one part that goes viral on TikTok, it doesn't slap outside of that one part. They said the same thing in the ringtone era. They literally said the same thing in the ringtone era, which is the era that they are now defending when they're dunking on the artists out now and saying that these artists aren't good enough because they're only making songs for TikTok. You can replace the word TikTok with ringtone and you're literally having the same conversation that they had in 2008. It's the same conversation. Again, for whatever reason, people don't like to just focus on the dope music that's out now. Everybody wants to always shit on the current music and act like the music that came out 10 years earlier was so much better. And that's not necessarily the case. There's always going to be dope music. There's always going to be bad music. It is what it is, especially now because more music is released than ever. It is what it is, you know? Like there was artists like, I literally remember when people used to shit on T-Pain. Like I literally witnessed it. Like I watched in real time a bunch of the general public at the time when T-Pain was first coming out and first blowing up in the mid to late 2000s, they shitted all on T-Pain's music. That's all they used to do. Now people are trying to rewrite history as if that era was so superior and they loved T-Pain. They always loved him, and that's not telling the full story. The full story is, at that time, whether it was T-Pain, whether it was Nelly, whether it was anything in between, from the 2000s to the 2010s, there was always a population of people that would shit on that current era and act like the music that came out previously was better. That era, that has always existed. And the same thing is going to happen in about 20 years. Not even 20 years. The same thing's going to happen in 10 years. We're going to fast forward to 2035, and you're going to have these same people shitting on the music that comes out of 2035 and saying that the music from 2025 was so much better. That's when it was real music. They're going to have this same tired, bitter debate about how music now sucks, and they feel as though music from the previous 10 years was just so much better. And again, to me, it's very disappointing, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of people who are going to miss a chance to just enjoy the music in the moment and make some good memories. They're gonna miss out on that because they're so caught up in trying to shit on the music that's out now and act as if the music from before was better. And another thing that the guy did that I thought was fascinating was, this guy, he in his attempt to defend the music from the previous 10 years, which is nothing wrong with liking the music from the past, obviously, but his defense was, oh, these artists, they're just sampling all the music from back then. Now they have no originality. Are you fucking stupid? Like, music, people have been sampling music for decades now. What are you talking about? Like, I saw somebody in the comment section trying to defend this person, this DJ who's in this clip. They tried to defend this person by saying, oh, when I tried to play Tupac, my nephews and whatever, they laughed, but they don't realize their music was sampling Tupac and these other people. And I'm like, dude, they were sampling in Tupac's era too, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, again, there's this weird dynamic where people love to shit on current music. They absolutely love to do it for whatever reason. Nostalgia is very weird. People get nostalgia and they obsess over the past, and in the process of them doing that, they miss out on the opportunity to just enjoy whatever is dope that's coming out right now. Because anybody who tries to say with a straight face that there's no good music that comes out right now, this person is lying, and this person doesn't bother searching for good music. And that's another element too, right? That's another element to this too. This DJ is probably, and to be fair, many DJs probably do this. They're only wanting to play the popular songs, and he feels some type of way because the popular songs are songs that he thinks are not good enough. But he's not willing to go out of his way to go find something that's not popular but still dope and try to break the record. You remember when DJs used to take pride in that? Like, oh, let me just go find something dope and break the record. These DJs aren't looking for that. Since they want to talk about the past so much, DJs before used to do that. DJs now, they're not trying to do that. They want something to be popular and be good. And history has shown you that typically that's not what the music industry, the mainstream music industry, that's not what they're prioritizing. They just want something that can sell. Even if it's bad, they don't care. And that's always been the case. Like, guys, we are literally living in the golden age of not just music, but content. We are in the golden age right now. I know when you hear golden age, the first thing you want to think about is 1995, 1994, 1993, 1990. I know that's the first thing people want to think about when they think of golden age. But guys, right now, even if you, better yet, instead of a golden age, I'm going to say this is better than the golden age. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a gold rush. There is a gold rush happening before your very eyes, and most of you are not even looking at it. Most of you, most of you, the whole situation is going right over your head. It is what it is. Because here's the thing, guys. In an actual gold rush, you have to dig. You're not gonna just be, it's not gonna, all the gold that's available is not just gonna be sitting at the top of this of the soil that you're exploring. You gotta actually dig. You gotta actually explore and try to find it. And it's out there in abundance. Because now more content is coming out than ever. So even though you're gonna have a lot of bad music that comes out, you're also gonna have a lot of dope music that comes out, a lot of dope podcasts, dope documentaries, dope everything. It's just a matter of, do you want to find it? But the thing about people like this DJ and many of the people that 100% agree with him is these people want to be spoon-fed good music. And history has shown you that the music industry does not care about spoon feeding you good music. They're just trying to sell you things, whether it's an agenda, whether it's a product, whether it is a lifestyle, whether it's whatever. They're just trying to sell you something. History has shown you that. That's the reason why back in the day, people like Evelyn Champagne King or Missy Elliott, initially in the early part of their careers, they weren't given a fair shot because the music industry didn't think they had the right look. Now, the reason they want you to have the right look is because they want you to be able to sell stuff. They're not worried. They've never been worried about how good music is, the quality. They've never been worried about that. It just so happens that at certain points in history, there was a very interesting balance where they were selling and pushing certain things, but simultaneously the music was very undeniable. But that doesn't mean they've ever cared about music sounding good. But again, either way, man, at the end of the day, I just wanted to talk about this video just to bring up the point that we're in a gold rush right now, a gold rush of content creation, a gold rush of music if you're a music enthusiast, a gold rush of everything, a gold rush of entertainment. And unfortunately, many people are not going to get it until 10 years go by and they no longer have a chance to enjoy it because the big companies out there, the Warner Brothers and Universal, they're going to swoop in, gain a full control like they always do, and it'll go back to the same old, and that's when it'll finally hit people like, hey, wait a minute, there was kind of a chance there in the 2010s, 2020s, but most people aren't gonna get it, guys. So at the end of the day, I really enjoyed music from the 2000s and 2010s. I still enjoy it, but at the same time, you can still enjoy the music that's out now too. There's plenty of dope music. Don't listen to the DJs and the fans who are stuck in their ways, who don't want to give credit to the newer stuff, the newer era of music. There's a lot of dope stuff out there. It's up to you to find it. If you don't want to look for it, well, that's on you. Like, this guy, he's claiming that he can't, he's implying that he can't find anything good out there to put in his set that's longer than 30 seconds per song, and that's on him. He's not looking for real. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not doing this video trying to rant or, make fun of the guy or disrespect him. I just disagree with his stance. It is what it is. I'm out.